Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm really good. Got a lot of fun stuff we're going to be talking about today. And on today's program, we've got a guest, Elaine Stirling, and we're going to talk about 6 business cliches that are about 150 years out of date. So that ought to be fun. Also, got a couple of dog stories. We're going to start with a quick one right now. With nobody home, a dog in Berlin turned on a radio and had neighbors complaining about the loud music. That is what I would refer to as a party animal.
Well, I'm sure he accidentally hit a button and then the noise was loud. It's not like he can turn it down.
You never know. Maybe he knows how to run the remote. I have no clue. So I'm assuming that whoever lives there had the volume turned up.
Yeah.
And the dog bumped the button and turned it on. But one way or another, he got in trouble for cranking the music too loud. So we've got that party animal in Berlin doing something wrong. But Toby, the golden retriever, is a lifesaver. We're going to tell you all about him coming up here in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Toby, the golden retriever, is a lifesaver. Listen to this. Debbie Parkhurst says that her dog performed the Heimlich maneuver on her and saved her life. Yeah, a Calvert, Maryland woman says she was choking on a piece of fruit. She started beating on her chest in an attempt to dislodge the obstruction, and that's when Toby pushed her to the ground and began jumping on her chest. She says the bit of apple loosened, and Toby started to lick her face and keep her from passing out. Parkhurst says that she has paw-shaped bruises on her chest to prove what she's saying, and her dog is a amazing hero.
Holy cow.
Can you imagine that? Now, I just want to say, I love my 2 puppies, but they're not hero dogs.
I think they could be if they were put in this situation.
Do you think our dogs would save us if we were joking?
You never know.
No, they wouldn't do any of that stuff. We got 2 little puppy dogs, and they're pretty much good for nothing other than just, unconditional love. We give them that. But they don't do anything like this. You got this dog saving a life.
They haven't had the opportunity. When have you ever choked on an apple? As far as that goes, when have you ever eaten an apple?
Well, we'll have to get some apples. Saw something on Pinterest that had caramel infused in the apple. That looked good.
Oh, my gosh, that looked amazing.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, and congratulations to Toby, the life-saving golden retriever.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. If you miss an exit on the highway and you just turn around to the next exit, right? What if there is no exit? You just keep driving? That's what one woman did. Vienna Van Walt Hudson accidentally drove down a French motorway while she was on vacation. She panicked because she couldn't find a way to turn around, so she kept driving looking for a turn for 5,000 miles.
There was no exit anywhere for 5,000 miles. How is that even possible?
For 2 weeks, she was still looking for someone to help her turn her car around. That's not bad enough. She filled up her gas tank with diesel fuel instead of regular unleaded gas.
And her car still ran?
No. That's what brought her little escapade to a halt. So here's my question. When you pulled onto the side of the road to get your gasoline, couldn't you have turned around and gone the other way then? 5,000 miles?
There's no way that there wasn't a place, that there wasn't an exit.
She didn't see a place to turn around.
5,000 miles.
Was
she looking for a U-turn?
Don't know. Doesn't sound like she was firing on all cylinders
I was
herself.
gonna say, there had to have been exits. Maybe not a place where she could make a U-turn.
Maybe she just really wanted to go wherever she was going, and she used that as an excuse. Why didn't she come home? I tried. There was just nowhere to turn around.
That is insane.
So this happened over in France. I didn't even know France was 5,000 miles across. It's a long way to go.
It is a long ways.
It's 5,000 miles. That's a pretty long. Maybe she started in a different country. I have no idea. It doesn't really give it all the details, but there you go. Info for you on our little segment. I always try to scour the internet to find things that are just almost unbelievable, and that is almost unbelievable. Coming up here, we have your brain on drugs. We've got your moment of duh. We've got your scoop of the day, and we've got a special guest today as well. We have Elaine Stirling. She's going to be talking to us about business cliches that are about 150 years out of date. So the things that you say in business during like email correspondence, things that you might not even know why you say them, we're going to explain why coming your way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. And by the way, if you're driving and you want to turn around, just turn around. Don't go 5,000 miles out of your way like this lady over here did. You know that's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. In Milwaukee, Keith, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right, Walendowski?
Okay.
He was angry because his lawnmower wouldn't start. So he shot the lawnmower.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, police were called to the scene, and Keith told him, I can do that. It's my lawnmower, and it's my yard, so I can shoot it if I want to. Well, unfortunately, that's not exactly true in the eyes of the law, so he was arrested and charged with felony possession of short-barreled shotgun or rifle and misdemeanor disorderly conduct while armed. The neighbor who called the police said Keith was extremely intoxicated at the time as well, which explains everything else. Because why else would you shoot your lawnmower if it's not starting? You might want to put gas in it.
He's lucky it didn't ricochet off the metal and come back and get him.
Yeah. Because what was the plan? Did he think after shooting it would fire
right up?
There, I showed you. Now go mow my lawn. No, it did not happen that way. So that happened in Milwaukee. Again, Keith Walendowski shot his lawnmower. Not a good way to start the day. Thank you so much for listening. We've got your moment of duh coming up, and that was your brain on drugs.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Today's moment of duh takes us to the manufacture of airplane engines. You know, because it's not always dumb people that are doing dumb things. Sometimes it's really smart people, like rocket scientists kind of folks. There's a place called Rotax Aircraft Engines. They have experimental aircraft engines, and they have some labels on these engines. Here's one. It says, danger. The engine, by design, is subject to sudden stoppage. Okay, so that means you can turn the engine off. Next thing on here. Engine stoppage can result in crash landings.
Oh, yeah.
Such crash landings can lead to serious bodily injury or death. These are all literally stickers.
You know what, though? You have to do these things now because people will sue you if they're not on there.
Let me read the rest.
If they say, I didn't know I couldn't stop this airplane midair. Then you'd get sued.
Never fly the aircraft equipped with this engine at locations, airspeeds, altitudes, or other circumstances from which a successful no-power landing cannot be made after sudden engine stoppage. So in other words, unless you're hooking this to like a really, really big airplane that's not going to stop, don't take this thing off the ground. So there you go. They have that is the warning label. I think it's funny that you said what you said because that is why they have these.
Yeah, they have to.
Somebody probably got sued.
Yeah.
You know, because a family member died or they got hurt or whatever, and they sued them saying, well, I didn't know this engine might not work. Yeah, it's mechanical. Everything mechanical might break.
Yeah.
So they have to have warning labels. But that is why we made that our moment of duh.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, the scoop of the day. The Hungarian government is so concerned about the number of young Hungarians leaving their country that they're offering to fly them home and pay them to stay. The Come Home Young Person program is aimed at persuading Hungarians living abroad to return to their home country. A Hungarian government event in London on June 28th promoted the program, touting its promise of free return flight, 1,000 forint monthly allowance, that's about $350 for the first year, and the possibility of a job close to your family.
Wow.
So I wonder if that's going to work to get folks to boomerang back home in Hungary.
I don't know much about Hungary. What is it? I mean, why
Hungary.
would you want to leave?
Hungary.
Yeah, you said Hungary.
That's not a place. Hungarians, Hungary.
I was trying to
Thank you for
gloss
smoothing
over
that
that
over.
for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I look just as dumb as I would have. Well then.
I don't know much about it, though. I don't know why you would want to leave. I mean, it's not like you hear a lot about it in the news, like it's a dangerous place or a controversial place or anything. So why wouldn't you just want to stay?
I wish you the very best. I hope people come back home. Hey, speaking of people coming home.
I wonder if they'll let me go there.
Yeah. Do you have to be Hungarian to do this? just load up a whole airplane full of people and send them over.
Mr. Hungaria, did you know your shirt's on inside out?
I noticed this. But I haven't taken the time to turn it around. Well, when I first put it on, it was not only inside out, it was backwards as well. So
at least you corrected that.
Well,
part.
I spun that around. I just pulled my arms in and spun it around. But I was not going to flip it off, take it off and flip it around.
Way too
I'll do
much
that.
Work.
I'll do that. I just haven't gotten around to it. The day is not done yet. Hey, George W. Bush reported for jury duty about a week ago in Dallas, Texas. He spent 3 hours in court but was not selected to serve as a juror. How cool would it be if the former president, was on the jury? That'd be kind of cool, but didn't happen. Police in Cedar Rapids, Iowa found an active meth lab this week. Guess where they found it?
Where?
Inside a Taco Bell.
Oh.
Apparently they were just trying to speed up the process. They get stoned and then they get a hankering for some Taco Bell. If it's right there in the same place, it's convenience, really. It's what it's all about. But that was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Taco Bell, by the way, was not the one running the meth lab. Just want to make sure I make that clear. Angus Fenton of Englewood, New Jersey, is feeling and looking great at 110 years young. She celebrated her milestone about a week ago, and she doesn't show signs of slowing down. Her secret for living to 110? 3 beers and a glass of the very expensive Johnny Walker Blue Label every day for the past 70 years.
Good for her.
Well, there you go. That's Heidi's secret to success as well. She doesn't stop at just 3 glasses and 2 beers. She triples that. She's like, I'm going to live to be 300. All right. People accustomed to nagging from doctors and family members that they're not taking their meds properly could get some help from an unlikely source. New designs for drug packaging and plans for labels that are easier to understand aim to help people stick to their drug regimens. New technologies include a bottle cap with a wireless chip that signals to patients if they're late in taking their meds by triggering a flashing light and an audible alert. That's a good idea.
That's a very good idea.
The average American woman spends thousands of dollars every year on beauty and salon treatments. I had to make sure I say women because men don't do that. The average American man needs to go somewhere and get some help, but they don't. But the women doing these thousands of dollars worth of treatments, 160 hours of grooming and primping is what they're finding is the average. Phoebe Baker-Hyde decided to explore what would happen if she gave up makeup for a year. You've done this too, haven't you? I'm just kidding. You don't wear the makeup like a lot of folks do. Listen to this though. She said,
"I'm trying to decide if that was an insult."
No, it was good. It was because you don't have to wear makeup. Listen to this. She says, "I did what a man would do. I put on deodorant, I put a little gel, and then I headed out the door. Maybe I could approximate that." She says, "Makeup would go, the jewelry would go." Baker-Hyde, the author of the book The Beauty Experiment, says that she felt more beautiful than ever without makeup. And I think you are absolutely stunning without doing 3 hours worth of makeup.
Well, I've never used a lot of makeup, but I do feel frumpy if I don't have at least my eyeliner and mascara on. And that's really all that I wear is eyeliner and mascara. But if I don't have it on, I look tired. In fact, when I don't have it on,
do you have it on now?
Not right now.
You don't look tired.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
And when I don't have it on, people ask me, "Are you feeling okay? You look really tired."
Funny thing is, when I do wear makeup, I get the same, "Are you feeling all right? What happened to you? Look like you fell into a clown kit." All right. Hey, our strange law as we end things here. In Globe, Arizona, it is illegal to play cards in the street with a Native American. What? That's in Globe, Arizona. Right. Illegal to play cards in the street with a Native American. You shouldn't be playing cards in the street anyway. Just saying.
It's a bad idea. You're going to get run over.
Yeah. Coming up here in a moment, we've got a guest. We're going to be visiting with Elaine Stirling, talking about some business cliches that are out of date. That's on the way. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening on a Wednesday. I've got a special guest on the telephone line, and her name is Elaine Stirling, and she's going to make us all a whole lot smarter. We're going to be talking about 6 business cliches we're probably using that are 150 years out of date. Elaine, how are you today?
I'm very well, John. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and I wish I could think of a good cliche to use right now, but I can't think of any. But I bet by the time we're done talking, I'll probably know all of these, won't I?
Oh, you will, and as soon as you hear the first one, you're going to go, Oh, no, not that.
Oh, let's start with the first one then. What is the first one?
Okay, the first one, and these are used in emails, and we're all in a rush, and we want to get these emails out quickly, and we want to sound professional. Well, yeah, professional from 150 years ago. So the first cliché is attached, please find.
Oh, yeah, attached, please.
Have you ever used that?
I have, and it's funny because nowadays when you attach it, it's not like they have to look really far to find it. It's like, oh, yeah, there it is right there.
That's right. It doesn't have to be said. And you know where it comes from? It comes from when stenographers and clerical staff did not have a voice of their own because the owners, who were the rich white guys that owned the companies, didn't do their own business writing. So they had clerical staff. So that those secretaries and clerks had to say, enclosed, please find. They couldn't say, I'm sending you something, because they had no personality. They had no voice.
Very cool. See, there's one thing we already learned. So what's another one of the business cliches?
The next one, further to our discussion.
Further to our discussion.
You open a message with that. I mean, it makes sense when you're the writer, but when you're the receiver, you read that phrase, and what's the first thing that goes through your head?
I'm thinking, what were we talking about? And I don't know.
That's it. How many discussions have I had this week? Who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're in our own bubble. So by saying that, and again, it's that very impersonal business voice from the 1800s.
Yeah.
So it's just assuming. It's making way too many assumptions. It's condescending.
Yeah.
You can really just say, thank you for meeting with me yesterday.
Well, and I won't use that because I haven't used that, but I'll definitely avoid using that. So.
Okay, well, good. That's one less you don't have to unbreak that habit. Good.
So we're up to 2. Now what's number 3?
As you know.
Of course. Now, I've heard that before, so that's been around for quite a while, too?
Sure it has. And it has that same kind of presumptuous tone to it, doesn't it? Like, obviously you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, even though my email has just landed in your inbox.
Well, as you know, I was thinking that.
Yeah. And, when you read that, and you're the reader and you're thinking, I bet I don't know. I bet they're keeping me out of the loop. I'm always nobody ever tells me anything.
Yeah, and you don't want to start things off in a negative tone. So now let's take a look at number 4 on the list.
As soon as possible, or ASAP.
Yeah, I see that a lot, and I'll admit I do use that one a lot. I'll say I'm going to send that over ASAP. I don't even put the periods anymore. It's all just kind of globbed together now.
Yeah. And, it's kind of okay if you're saying you're going to send it, but when you want something ASAP, how does it feel to read that?
I'm not the demanding type, so I say, hey, send it over when you got a minute.
See, if everyone were like you, John, it would be so much easier.
Yeah, but we'd have other problems, then I'm sure. So nothing would ever get done. So.
Yeah. Well, that ASAP. It's we think we're being flexible and efficient, but it's too vague.
And I, for one, would much rather know when you need it rather than just trying to guess, because, if you guess, I'm going to probably guess wrong. So let's move on to number 5. What's number 5 on the list, Elaine?
Number 5 is thank you in advance.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people do that. I've never done that, but I see that on emails. Hey, please send me this. Please do that. Thank you in advance. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And if you think back to those industrial age owners we were talking about who are, very important, and you got your workers down at the bottom of the pyramid, the clerk that sends that out is kind of like saying, I am so busy that I'm going to thank you now, because when you finally do the thing, I'm not going to be able to get around to thanking you.
There you go.
It's very kind of brushing people off.
So that's been around a long, long time, too, then.
Long time.
And there's one more, if I'm counting correctly, number 6
that's
on the list.
That's right, and that's the longest one. And if you think about typing that one with your thumbs on a smartphone, it is just ridiculous how much time you're wasting.
Okay.
Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or concerns.
Well, like anybody would hesitate if I had a question. That's the first thing I would do.
Exactly. That's the thing. It goes back to that time where we were so scared of our bosses and our managers and our foremen, and they were behind locked doors, that you did hesitate.
That is awesome.
So they were making an exception. So we can't be using those kind of tones anymore.
No, it's outdated, and I think we should put our foot down today and say we're never using these things again.
Excellent.
I'm going to do that ASAP.
Well, thank you in advance.
Yes. Don't hesitate to call me again if you think of anything else.
All right.
Well, Elaine, thank you so much for chatting with me. I appreciate that a bunch. Now, you've got the 6 business cliches you're probably using that are 150 years out of date, but you also have a book. Tell me a little bit about your book.
Yeah, a book is called The Corporate Storyteller, a writing manual and style guide for the brave new business leader.
That is fantastic. We'll be sure to tell folks to go out and find their copy of it. And where can I get that? Is it on all the big bookseller websites?
You can get it, yes, through any of the major booksellers and Amazon online as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elaine. I really appreciate your time.
It's been a real pleasure, John. Thank you.
And if you're going out to look for the book, Elaine Stirling is the lady we've been visiting with here. Wonderful young lady. Elaine Stirling, Stirling. If you're looking for it online, go find a copy of it. Thank you so much for joining us on a Wednesday. It's the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, the 12th day of August. It is IBM PC Day. I think it's the day they invented the IBM PC, I'm pretty sure. Unless that stands for something else. Don't know. International Youth Day today. It's also Milkman Day. I do not ever remember a time when I had a milkman.
We never had a milkman.
Where you grew up, you didn't have a milkman? There are some people that still have a milkman in some areas. But I've never had a milkman of my own. Not like he'd be my own, like I keep him in a... Never mind. Moving on. It's also Sewing Machine Day today. Vinyl Record Day today.
Ah, that's a good day to celebrate.
And World Elephant Day today.
I love elephants.
I know you do. That's why I saved that till the very end. That was going to be my first thing. But Heidi's a huge fan of elephants. So there you go. World Elephant Day today. Get out there and celebrate however you want to celebrate on this Wednesday, the 12th day of August.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Scorpion venom might help fight brain tumors, Heidi. Let me repeat that. You look a little confused.
Well, I'm just wondering how you would get that in you. I mean, are you supposed to let a snake bite your head?
No, let me tell you what it says here. New study showed that TM601, that's a synthetic version of a protein found in the venom of a giant yellow Israeli scorpion, is useful in treating brain tumors. In the
scorpion is not a snake.
I didn't say it was. I said scorpion venom.
Oh, I thought you said snake venom.
No, scorpion venom. You said snake. Just want to make sure we got that. Got that
Moving
all
on.
ironed out. In the study, 18 patients had surgery to remove malignant gallomias. I don't know what that is. Gallomias? Anyway, they were injected with a solution of radioactive iodine and this TM601. The solution bound almost exclusively to the leftover tumor cells. 2 patients were still alive nearly 3 years after the treatment, despite a life expectancy of a few months. So they said, you got a couple of months to live. You mind if we stick a scorpion in your brain? They're like, yeah, go ahead and try it. Keep in mind, this is not pure venom. It's going out and purposely getting stung by a scorpion would likely kill you faster than the brain tumor, so don't do that. But the way that they've done this is they've found a way to take the venom and break it down and let the part that attacks things attack just the tumor cells. So these are scientists that are trained to do all kinds of stuff.
That's fascinating to me how they figure that stuff out.
Don't play with scorpions at home.
What would make them think, I'm going to take some of this venom, I'm going to mess around with it and see if it'll cure cancer? It's amazing to me.
I'm assuming probably a comic book is what made him think that. I don't know. It sounds like something from a comic book.
Yeah.
Jimmy was working late in the lab, and he took a scorpion to his patient's brain.
That's just crazy.
I have no clue. I have no clue what happened. But scorpion venom, fighting brain tumors, what next? You know, I think this sounds like a comic book to me. And the stuff, it's called TM601. Come up with a different name for it. That just sounds like something you'd keep on a shelf in the garage. I can't get this bolt loose. Give me some TM601. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the parking ferry. Oh, yeah, that's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Parking ferry is in the news, Heidi. Wouldn't it be great if you could pull up to a parking meter and never have to worry about running out of change? That's happening right now in Miami because of a parking ferry. They don't know, but it's a man. They don't know his name. They think his name is Xavier Cortez, but he roller skates around in a Coconut Grove area wearing a pink wig, a lavender tutu, and fake wings, putting change in parking meters. It's all about altruism. Turns out Mr. Cortez is employed by local retailers and restaurateurs who fear that visitors will be discouraged to park downtown because of tickets. So the local downtown association and those parking people said, hey, we're going to give you a fistful of change. You go around and make sure nobody gets a ticket.
That's cool.
Xavier, a professional artist with a theater background whose work has been featured in galleries and on music album covers, says he loves his new gig. He is the parking fairy.
In some areas, it's illegal to feed somebody else's parking meter.
I don't know how they could enforce that.
I don't know. But I
parking
know that
fairy,
I have read of people
I
getting
have
tickets,
too. Yeah.
getting fines for feeding someone else's meter.
Yeah, so anyway, this guy's the parking fairy, and he's cruising around in Miami. It's a good idea, and if you can afford your own parking fairy, you should get one. Just saying. Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about a traffic jam. That's all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Have you ever been sitting in traffic and wondered, why are we all sitting here? Why doesn't somebody just move? What's going on? When roads slow and traffic jams, there is no particular reason, like an accident or an accident that caused it. It says in the middle of one of these jams, it's easy to feel that you're either being punished or persecuted. So this explanation right here might make you feel better. At 60 miles an hour, with 1 car length distance between cars for every 10 miles per hour of speed, 40 cars per minute could pass through a single point in theory. But driver psychology trumps over mathematics. In fact, people begin to slow down once traffic density exceeds 25 cars per minute.
Well, I have a headache.
At 33 cars per minute, they slow down to 35 miles per hour. Any more crowding than that can triple the effect and take over, possibly in resulting the stop-and-go traffic that actually causes traffic jam. But there's still enough room for cars to move freely at highway speed. So they're saying the problem is us. Mathematics say we can all make it through without slowing down. But there's somebody that gets nervous. They're like, oh, there's more cars. I better go slow. And when they go slow, then everybody behind them has to slow down. And next thing you know, you've got a traffic jam because somebody put on the brakes a little too early. So they're saying if you're driving and you've got room, keep driving. Don't slow down. Go the speed limit. That's why they call it a speed limit. It's the limit.
Yeah, limit means that's as fast as you can go, but there should be minimums.
There are
posted on every single sign.
There are many places they do.
Some
have
places
minimums.
there are, but not everywhere.
All right, so we're not going to agree
because
on
the
that,
limit
so
is not the problem; it's the minimum.
It is.
Yeah.
So anyway, next time you're stuck in traffic, just do a little math in your head, and maybe you'll get a headache like I did.
Yeah.
I read it. I don't know what I even said. I just read what they said. Some smart people trying to explain traffic jams. Here's my explanation for traffic jams. There's a lot of cars. We're all going slow.
Sometimes traffic jams just happen. That's all there is to it. Sit back, breathe, relax, enjoy your commute.
There you go. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
If you're 40 and lonely, join the crowd. An Australian study of 1,300 people over the age of 18 have shown that more than a third of adults describe themselves as lonely. People in their 40s suffer the most. Here's some interesting facts about people who are lonely and people who are not. People with strong religious beliefs are less likely to be lonely no matter what their age. So if you have religious beliefs and they're strong, less likely to be lonely. Women are more likely than men to have strong religious beliefs. Therefore, women tend to be less lonely. Loneliness is more common in the unemployed. That kind of makes sense to me, doesn't it? To you?
Well, if you're unemployed, you're not going out and you're not conversing with people and you're home alone. So, yeah.
Being retired does not lead to loneliness. So being retired doesn't contribute at all. So if you're retired, that doesn't matter. If you're still active, you're not going to be lonely. Poorer people tend to be more lonely than those who are wealthier. Who did this study? Because this is all very obvious thus far. Knowing a lot of people doesn't guard against loneliness. You can know a lot of people and still be lonely.
I don't know why making you poor would make you lonely.
Because you can't afford to go do all the fun things that everybody else is doing.
No, but there are lots of things that you can do.
They're like, hey, we're going to go grab something to eat. You want to come with? We're like, I'm poor. I can't go anywhere. I'll stay right here. You can find me back here on my bench. And Finally, there's no link between how long someone lives in a community and how lonely he or she feels. So you can live.
That's true.
In the
you
same
can live
place
somewhere forever
for a long time.
Be very lonely.
And you can be lonely. And it says it doesn't matter how many people you know. So you can know a lot of people and still be lonely as well. Here's the thing. If you're lonely, get up and go do something. And I'm absolutely being serious right now. I like to goof around and have fun all the time. But do something for someone else. Find a place where you can volunteer to give your time, and I guarantee you the loneliness goes away.
That's right.
And you are going to feel so good that you did something nice. So, little tip from Uncle John. If you're feeling lonely, go out and help somebody, and you will not feel lonely anymore.
Agreed.
I promise you. Coming up, we've got some good news for you. It's on the way. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
We try to end this program with some good news, and this is one where it's going to be difficult unless you go online and actually look at the photos. But I'll tell you what they are. And if you go to the John and Heidi Show page on Facebook, and it's facebook.com/John and Heidi Show, I have a link there. Posted it the other day when I found this. And it's really, really cool. It's a website of amazing places with
you were talking about
images.
this the other day. You're like, we need to go here and we need to go here.
I was clicking through these images, and I was telling Heidi, I was like, oh, wow, this is so beautiful. How many images did you come over and look at, by the way?
None.
0. Not a single time. I was like almost in tears at some of these. I was
we can't afford to go
beautiful.
to any of those. So
I want to go there. Come over and look at this.
Why drive myself
like,
crazy?
I'm busy playing Candy Crush. Sorry. But the website is for amazing places, and they have another edition of the most beautiful and breathtaking places around the world, from skywalking in Canada to a river of flowers in Holland. And I want to do that. I said, we could plant those here. It could be anywhere, but it's in Holland. The site helps you see some of the places you might not have ever seen before. And a lot of the stuff that you're seeing on there, these are natural beauty. It's not like somebody built it. It's natural things that are just there. After seeing those, I just don't know how anybody could say, this whole universe is just an accident. A bunch of stuff, this big bang.
It was a big bang.
And it created all this beauty and wonder. I don't know how you could do that, but some people do. And if you do, I guess that's your thing. But I think God has given us something beautiful to look at. And if you want to see these pictures, there's a link on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And again, you can go check out these beautiful photos. And it's just amazing to see how many completely different things. Because one thing is beautiful and it's like looks like a screensaver. It's, this ocean and all that. And another one is like mountains. But so many things are just absolutely beautiful. And they call them amazing places. And they're amazing, all right. It's really, really cool. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Hope you'll join us back here again tomorrow, because we're going to be here, and I hope you will too. That wraps things up for a Wednesday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And our bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Go check out what they have to offer. You can get razors delivered to your door for $1 a month plus $2 shipping. So for $3 a month. What else can you do for $3 a month?
Not a lot.
There was a place not too long ago. They were singing about their sandwiches. $5 footlongs. Remember that?
They don't even do those anymore.
But I'm just saying.
All gone.
When that was a good deal, people went nuts about that. That was $5 for one day. Really, just for lunch. This is $3 for a whole stinking month. Why aren't people singing about that? $3 razors.
Oh my gosh.
Just saying, they should be. There should be a song about that. As a matter of fact, if you write a song about that, I'll play it on our podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Just get it to me. I'm not kidding. I'll do it. If you would like to know more about their $3 razors, go check out dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, let's take a look at our bonus break. Scientists have just discovered that when shrimp is first born, it is male. As it gets older, it gradually matures to become female. So all shrimp start out as boys, and they grow up to be girls. Kind of like...
Yeah, don't even go there.
I'll just stop. Hey, despite spending more per person on healthcare than any other country. Americans are getting sicker and dying younger than our international peers. A problem persisting across all ages and both genders, according to a new report. National Research Council found life expectancy in the United States is increasing at a slower rate than other high-income democracies. So they're saying that we're having an increase in our life expectancy, but it's not going up as fast as everywhere else. I think that's because the baseline where we started, our medical system has been good for a long time. So when you're looking at other countries where it wasn't good and it's getting better, maybe that's why. I don't know. Just thinking outside of the box.
I think we have a lot more stress in the United States than other countries do.
You and I both have stress medication now.
We're on, both of us, yeah.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure and anti-anxiety meds, which
for
is
you, not
awesome.
For me. I don't have that. I have, I got two things. What was my first one? Was the
ulcer.
Ulcer, that's what it was.
Yeah, you've got an ulcer and you've got high blood pressure.
I feel like a game show.
I've got anxiety meds and I'm on Valium. So, yeah, I think stress probably has a lot to do
like
with our problem of not living very long, maybe.
Feel like I could die at any second. Matter of fact, when they took my blood pressure, they actually
they were
took
like,
it again.
That's not right.
This can't be right.
Check it again.
I think this is broken. Let's get another piece in here. And the lady's like, how are you even alive?
Yeah, it was not good.
Kind of feeling a little bit funny. But. All right, 5 robbers in Athens, Greece robbed a post office expecting to grab 2 bags containing about $500,000. They grabbed the wrong bags. Despite what they made off with, they still don't feel very smart. Instead of the money bags, they grabbed hundreds of algebra, Latin, and chemistry exam papers.
Oh.
At least now they know what E equals MC is all about, because that's what that was. So,
wow.
So yeah, they're feeling real smart there. And a homeless man pled guilty to second-degree burglary after his beer need defense failed to convince a judge that he was justified in breaking into a convenience store to satisfy his thirst.
Not gonna work.
Yeah, the judge sentenced Stephen Childress to 1 year in jail. Stephen hoped to argue that he was literally dying for a beer. He thought he was having a heart attack and needed to have a beer. The judge ruled that his beer need defense failed to qualify.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And he said, you really need to seek help for your drinking problem.
Wow.
The good news is he's going to be in jail for a while, so I don't think he's going to have to worry about that. And I have one last story here. You're in your car, you're on your way to work, and you see in front of you a terrible accident. You see a head-on collision take place, immediately killing one of the drivers. That is awful.
Yeah.
You call 911 on your cell phone, and you wait for the police and the fire department to show up. Oddly, they never do. Why? Because they're stuck at a toll booth, and the toll operator won't let them pass.
Oh,
they don't have enough money to get through. That's what happened in Chile. A fire engine couldn't reach the scene of a fatal accident because they didn't have enough money to pay the motor toll.
Oh, boy. In fact, you would think they would be exempt.
Yes. Since they didn't have enough money, they just turned around and went home. The Ministry of Public Works has apologized for the incident and says that it will never happen again. So in Chile, if you're rushing to the scene of an accident as an emergency responder, they say,
my gosh.
Sorry, I still need my lira, or whatever they have. You can't make it through without that. That is ridiculous. So I cannot even believe that happened, but it did in Chile. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been your bonus break, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more about those folks at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.